CBS Sports. Expect it here.
Lincoln, Nebraska has been overrun by college students. And no, they're not on spring break, but here to compete for a national championship. The X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team Championships are next. Welcome inside Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln, Nebraska. This is the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team Championships. The Hawks of Maryland Eastern Shore and the Bears of the University of Pikeville. Hello again, everybody. I'm Dave Lamont. We thank you very much for joining us. And the energy you heard back there just now is exactly what you're going to get on every shot in this match. It's one of the unique features of college bowling is the energy between the players and the fans, and of course the talent of these two great teams. And here is how they got here. Pikeville defeated Wright State in the semifinals 4-0, and Maryland Eastern Shore defeated a perennial power in Wichita State in the semifinal 4-2 to set us up to where we are now, past champions of this event. Maryland Eastern Shore in 2011 and Pikeville in 2004 and in 2008. And let's meet the teams.
From Pikeville, Kentucky, the University of Pikeville Bears, coached by Ron Damron. From Princess Anne, Maryland, the University of Maryland Eastern Shore Hawks, coached by Christina Fromm.
And as always, I'm joined by PBA star Chris Barnes, who understands the team bowling concept well, having done it as a shocker at Wichita State. What do you expect out of this match?
Well, it's a tale of two cities here, really. Pikeville has come along really late in the season. Coach Dameron has his team peaking at the right moment. Maryland Eastern Shore has been a powerhouse all season long, has been here several times in the past, and they have a lot of experience in this very elite setting.
Now, we're doing 5 players in each match. Sometimes there are substitutions made. Have you identified maybe a key player or two to look for today?
Well, and Coach Dameron, he noticed that Astrid, the left-hander for Pikeville, she's keyed a lot of moments for them, been a real spark plug for them. Maryland Eastern Shore's lineup hasn't changed a lot. They've kept primarily the same lineup. They've been very good. They're going to focus on their processes today, and if they make great shots, they think they have the upper hand.
Can I put you on the spot for a pick?
I think Maryland Eastern Shore has got to be the favorite today.
All right, we'll find out if he's right.
X-Bowling Intercollegiate Championships on CBS Sports Network is brought to you by Storm. Bowlers serving bowlers. Storm is the Bowlers Company. By Tony's Pizza. For great pizza at a great value, Tony's is always giving you more. And by Bowl.com, your online source for all things bowling.
The United States Bowling Congress is shaping the future of bowling.
Ron Damron with a couple of national titles at Pikeville in 2004 and 2008. It was Christina Fromm was the number 4 bowler for Maryland Eastern Shore, and she's going to have to get through, and her team will have to get through this Pikeville lineup. Ashley Copley, Astrid Valiente, Christina Halen, Brianna Larson, and Brandy Hensley, the anchor. And for Maryland Eastern Shore, Christy Lopez, Megan Buja, Mariana Alvarado, Angie Ramirez, and Tania Falbo. Very experienced team. And 4 players, including actually counting the coach, are on the 2011 USBC champs in Columbus, Georgia. Maryland Eastern Shore will go first. So we'll take a look at Christy Lopez. And trouble on the first ball. Now the Baker format, you may be new to this. You see the numbers that are pinned to their shirts. 1 and 6 means that Christy Lopez will bowl the first frame and the 6th frame. If you see 27, it's 2 and 7, 3 and 8, 4 and 9, and the anchor bowler will wear 50. The bowlers will rotate twice to the order, and you can substitute. And you get high fives in this sport no matter what you do. Chris, what's the pattern?
We're bowling on a 45-foot pattern here. It's very long. The area that Pikeville is going to be playing is right along here, and the area that Maryland Eastern Shore is going to be a little bit deeper. They're going to play a little bit more inside where the track hooks here in the center. Scores have been pretty good on the fresh. The lanes look a little tighter here on TV today, plus you got nerves.
A makeable opportunity for Ashley Copley, the leadoff bowler for Pikeville.
Statistically, Maryland Eastern Shore looks like a more talented team. They have a little higher rev rate. They have a little more experience overall. But Pikeville consistently throughout this tournament has gotten off to really good starts in all their matches. They've had very little trouble getting through. They did have a couple of 7-game matches. They were able to come through in those as well. And Maryland Eastern Shore, if they have a weakness, it seems to be those first couple of games until the lanes start to hook a little bit and get better for them.
Certainly one of the leaders for the Hawks, this woman right here, Megan Bouja, who's now up. Outstanding student with academic honors, the list as long as your arm, and an excellent bowler to boot. And 2 splits on that left lane for Maryland Eastern Shore.
Both shots inside of target. They're trying to play just right of the third arrow, and as you watch this one go down the lane here, it's going to be just inside of third arrow. And from the very beginning, you could hear in the back, push, 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 push. They were trying to get the ball, hoping that it would sit there and not go high.
They're forced to take their medicine in the first 2 frames. First at 2 points, the champion. And there are half points awarded in case we have the unusual event of a tie. We take a look at Astrid Valiente from Caguas, Puerto Rico. And a real spark plug for this team, even though she's in the number 2 position.
She was inserted into the lineup about halfway through this tournament and really keyed their success moving forward, especially through match play.
Wide left, and she's got a very difficult lead there, 137. She's a member of the Puerto Rico national team. We have a lot of international bowlers for both these schools, particularly UMES or UMES, I should say. What are the keys?
Well, for Pikeville, they need to relax. This is an excitable team. It's a fairly young team as far as in this environment, and they need to make the adjustments and just make spares. Maryland Eastern Shore, on the other hand, they want to focus on the communication. They're a very together team, and they want to focus on the process. They feel like they're better shot makers. If they do that, that will take care of things.
Beautiful.
Watch the head pin as it goes across. Perfect execution. And that will loosen your team up a little bit when you save and open.
And maybe tighten things up for the other team. We'll see. Mariana Alvarado, the number 3 bowler for Maryland Eastern Shore. And they're going through the face pretty much the first 3.
Again, a little bit inside of target. They decided to break the lanes down from a little further left in practice. They played around 13, 14. We're planning on staying there, but so far no one has got it right of third arrow yet. Could be because they're a little bit tighter today. Balls don't seem to be hooking as much, and might be a little afraid to get it to the right.
If something came out, maybe a piece of tape or something that was in that ball. Possibly a grip, but something you could see a little extra was rolling down the lane that time. But the bottom line is it's a spare no matter what. So
Finally
Christina,
on the board.
Yes, and they desperately needed that. And for you music fans, yes, Christina's nickname is Christina Van Halen. I asked.
Of course you did.
Of course, yes, I did ask. They're lefty in the first strike of the match.
The best shot so far by anyone here. Gets out to about the 6th board and just comes roaring back.
We'll be back with more from the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team Championship right after this.
Jack.
Welcome back to X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team Championships. I'm Dave Lamont along with Chris Barnes. And Christy Lopez's first ball went straight through the face, and she wound up with a split. That's a much better shot than the first one, obviously. What adjustment did she make?
Looks like she moved a little bit left with her feet. Her first shot hit 17 at the arrows. This one hits right around 15, about 16 at the arrows. So she did have to move her feet a couple left. This one pushed by the head pin. Didn't make it all the way back through, but had plenty to throw the 5 into the 7.
Now you may notice those little dots by all of the bowlers from Pikeville on their right eyes, below the right eye. That's a bear claw. And that's trouble, 4-7-9. So Maryland Eastern Shore has grabbed the lead with a triple. There's a little bear claws. Even the coach has one of those little stickers, by the way. Whatever little edge you can get, psychologically. Whatever it takes.
Never mess with karma.
No. Absolutely not. Going for it. So an open frame for Pikeville. Fall a little bit further behind against Maryland Eastern Shore.
They survived their ugly start with 2 splits, and another one went through the nose to come back with 3 strikes now.
Bouger, all right, has a little bit of work to do with that 310. She had 4 300 games in her career. This Kim Terrell-Kearney, the great Hall of Famer, is her bowling role model and her favorite bowler.
It's a good one to have.
Yeah, you can. Pretty hard to beat that.
My favorite female pro bowler, obviously, is a little bit different.
Liz Johnson?
Liz a little closer to home.
Oh, yes, yes.
Great spare.
She's a junior. That's the good news. She was around in 2011 as a freshman when they won in Columbus, Georgia.
She was hoping for it to push. We need the ball to hit the right side of this. And then deflect into the 10. Perfectly executed. That's why you use a plastic ball, so it doesn't get any traction there and can deflect once it hits the front pin.
To down 14, we'll see if Valiente is indeed the spark plug Pikeville needs. 10 straight backs. Maybe the best ball we've seen in this match so far. Right when Pikeville needed it. So there is Astrid Valiente. As good looking a shot as you'll see in this match so far. She knew it all along. And joining us is the head coach for Pikeville, Ron Dameron. And Ron, obviously when you all referred to her as your spark plug, there's a perfect example of why.
Yeah, we needed that shot there. You know, they had their 3 in a row and after some opens and really just was throwing better shots than us, and that was really good. So that may open the doors a little bit for us here, so that we can keep going.
Ron, your team has gone from up early to now down a little bit. Where are they at emotionally?
We were on a high yesterday. We'll get it back somewhere in the next 30 minutes here, I hope. But we were not quite as pumped as we needed to be early this morning. That's probably my fault. But we're in the point of getting them relaxed, and but we're going to get the fire back here in just a few minutes. But we're really throwing the ball okay. A little tentative the first few shots here, but I think we'll be okay.
All right, Ron, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. Ron Dameron, the head coach at Pikeville, joining us, and now we go back to Maryland Eastern Shore and Mariana Alvarado. Appreciate Ron taking the time out to talk to us. Alvarado gets that left lane. That left lane starting to behave, at least for the Hawks. Well, do you know that around 100,000 children bowl in high school, but only 4,000 of them can find college programs? Collegiate bowling is growing fast, but there's still work to be done. Learn how to start a program at your college. Please visit bowl.com/collegiate and find the Start a Program tab.
down 14, a chance to cut it to 4.
Christina Halen had a strike in the 3rd frame. Here she is in the 8th. Her eyes were pretty wide when she came back. I think she was fearing the worst.
A little soft on this shot. Just not really so much inside a target as it was just soft. Difficult part about waiting 5 minutes in between shots and the emotionals up and down. Cuts through it, able to knock the 7-pin out, which is it's a big help to only leave the 3-6.
I think Ron Dameron brought up a very good point about the emotion that goes into this, and you're seeing some of this right now with the emotion, but just getting here can be such a draining environment with everything that has to go, all the games that have to be bowled, that it can take a toll on a team.
Well, for sure. You've got 5 individuals that all need to play at a certain level, and to find a level where everyone within your team can play at their best level is a tough thing to find, particularly in a high-stress environment like this, with not a lot of time to get or build yourself into that frame of mind.
Angie Ramirez, the senior from Bogota, Colombia, bowls for Team Colombia. As a matter of fact, Maryland Eastern Shore has been able to get bowlers from that country for probably the last 5 or 6 years, really good ones too. And you think of Colombian bowlers, the first one that comes to my mind is the great Clara Guerrero, who went to Wichita State and has had a fantastic career as a professional. And Angie could be on that same path. That was an impressive shot. And the max now for Maryland Eastern Shore is 226, and they're up by 24.
Well, Angie just gets better and better every year we see her at the national finals. Playing inside now, she's been able to open up her angles much more than she was when she was a freshman. Play out, play in, speed control's better, and her shot repetition has improved tremendously. One of many reasons why she's become one of the best players in collegiate bowling.
So Brie Larson, the sophomore, family, very close friends with John Zerbinski, calls him like a second brother. And slides wide a little bit to the right and leaves just that single pin.
Pikeville running out of time here, down 25 already. Their max score is now 191. With Maryland Eastern Shore on a 206 pace. Well executed there. Treasure the plastic ball now. Tania Falbo will get up here in the 10th frame. Once again, the team relying on her time after time. She's been able to hit the pocket and throw key strikes, particularly in the last match to get to this spot against Wichita State. She seemed to strike every 10th frame to carry her team to victory.
And as you saw, 9 for the win in game 1. And they get that first coveted 2 points. How about 10? And Maryland Eastern Shore grabs the first point from Pikeville with a solid game. A slow start. They overcame it with some excellent frames in the middle. And Tania Falbo slams the door shut on game number 1. Strong start for the team that won in 2011. Maryland Eastern Shore trying to get a second title in the last 3 years of the X-Bowling USBC Intercollegiate Team Championships and take home that Helmer Cup. Welcome back to the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team Championships. Bowl TV is reloaded on YouTube. Get all of the latest videos and live web streaming events in one spot. Go to youtube.com/BowlTV and click on the subscribe button. You'll be the first to know when there's something new to see from Bowl TV. The National Collegiate Bowling Coaches Association announced their season MVPs this week, and it's no surprise that both of them were here leading their teams. On the women's side, it's Wichita State junior Tanya Ramanpur. The Indonesian standout led the nation with an average just over 208 and had 2 individual titles this year to go along with 4 other top 5 finishes. Tanya says it's an award she will cherish and share with her teammates.
It's a really good feeling. It's just like what you've been doing the whole year. It's just like pay off. Like everybody recognize it, and the support that all my teammates give me and how they're really happy that I'm get it is better rather than just the award itself.
For the men, it's deja vu all over again. Robert Morris sophomore Marshall Kent wins the MVP for the second time in as many college seasons. Kent led the country in average by nearly 5-pin margin and also picked up 2 individual titles this year. Winning never gets old for Marshall, and this year it's twice as nice.
I mean, it means everything. I mean, there's only one guy that wins the award, and to be that guy 2 years in a row is, I mean, I couldn't even describe it to you. It's amazing. I'm really at a loss of words for it. It's happened so fast, so recent. Ever since junior gold back in 2010, everything just, it's been one after the other, and it's just, I mean, I'm trying to keep my head small enough to fit through the door when I go into the tournament and just kind of go in and do my thing and see what happens.
We'll be back with more from the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team Championships right after this. Lincoln, Nebraska. Angie Ramirez and the Maryland Eastern Shore Hawks halfway to their second X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team Championship title as they lead Pikeville, a 2-time champion, 2004 and 2008, 1-0 in this best of 3, or basically first to 2 points, because you can't have a tie and split a point. And Pikeville made a substitution. They bring in Caitlin Simpson, a freshman from just outside of Boise, Idaho, and Emmett, and benched Ashley Copley. Maybe that was a good decision. Good start. That's exactly what you have to do to get off the deck after a tough first game.
Absolutely. The last half of the game was all one-sided for Maryland Eastern Shore. So getting back out in front, letting them know you're still there. Don't let them get out to a big lead early and cruise in.
No changes for UMES. So Christy Lopez, a freshman from Puerto Rico, will start it off. That first off could have been a disaster, Chris, and then almost was a miracle.
Well, watch the 3-pin here, right there. She hits the right side of that, and it goes to the wall, then back out in front and still spinning, and it looks like for a minute it's going to spin around and knock the head pin over too, and spins out front to the rake and just misses it. You say some 9s are better than others.
Well, if you remember in the first game, she opened, and it worked out okay in the first frame. But the door is open a bit. But Pikeville didn't strike on their first ball in that first game either.
You gotta love the collegiate bowlers. You giving high fives and still there and encouraging someone for missing the head pin.
That does not happen on the men's tour, does it?
No. We're not doing that too much.
No, I don't think you encourage each other when you make strikes. That crossed a little into the face, and she's probably fortunate. Astrid Valiente to get the a makeable spare. That's one of the fun things about team bowling.
It's one of the greatest things and one of the hardest things. You have 4, 5, 6 people behind you to enjoy the successes. And depending on how you look at it, you also have 5 or 6 people depending on you and putting pressure on you.
Yeah.
If you're wired that way. And it can make it even harder to throw a shot at the end.
Spun away from it immediately. She knew it was online. Boy, we really are happy to be back here at Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln in the shadow of the University of Nebraska, where we were last year. It opened in December 27th of '77. First sanctioned 900 series, ABC sanctioned Jeremy Sonnenfeld on 1997. 15-year-old Pete Weber finished 3rd. 1978, the PBA regional event here. They've had the Special Olympics National Games and the World Youth Games will be here. And they do a wonderful job here. Such gracious hosts. And Is there something on the right lane that's causing this?
Well, this is what they'll have to communicate a little bit. The two lanes do look like they're a little bit different. These two, both leadoff bowlers, first and second, have thrown it left in the first game. They've both thrown it right in the second game now. It looks like they tried to make an adjustment to the right, but the ball didn't pick up. So communication is a big part of their strategy and a part of their team unity that makes them successful. It's going to come in play right now.
All right, so a couple of opens to begin for UMES. And that's exactly how they started the first game. Open frame, and then they went on and got hot in frames 4, 5, and 6, strung together 3 strikes. In fact, 5 of the last 6 frames they struck out.
Pardon me if I don't think that going open is a great strategy, though, to win every game.
No, I don't know if it's a strategy, but it's what they've dealt themselves those cards. So an opportunity now here for Christina Halen to give Pikeville a really big early lead.
Pikeville needs to take advantage of this. First game they kind of cruised along and did not, and they came back. They were able to take advantage later on.
And the NAIA All-American first teamer coming through.
She does throw it good. She's throwing the 2 best shots for Pikeville. Out to about the 6th board. Back up through them. For her, it looks like this lane might hook a little bit more. See if that transfers down to her teammates as well. Perhaps it was Astrid that told her to move a little bit.
Alvarado. Just missed. Best looking shot so far from anyone on the UMES team on this right lane.
She got a little forward there and her shoulder kind of collapsed in, but after those first 2 shots, both missing a head pin to the right. Pretty understandable to not want to throw another one out that direction. She needs to fix the grip or something in that ball.
Yes. And now some smiles on the Pikeville side early on. A little bit looser environment after they lost the first game. And Brie Larson, see what she's done during the season, averaged a hit over 190.
Brought that ball back in front of us. It was the grip that came out. She's probably lucky that it didn't roll close enough to actually hit it and make it bounce off line. Good looking shot. Oh. Her best shot of the day.
And we're starting to say that a little bit more about the Pikeville team. They're starting, you think they're just more comfortable?
I think they've settled in a little bit. The nerves and the anxiety and all the energy that goes with being here and bowling for a national championship. Settled into what they do now a little bit.
Now watch the little routine that goes on here for spares for Pikeville. You notice each player and a coach with a finger in the air that corresponds to the number of pins left. Now that's one thing they'll do. And then watch what they do, the team, when the ball is thrown. That's team bowling right there. It's like having 8 people throw 1 shot. Pikeville with a 22-pin advantage. They must win this game or Maryland Eastern Shore will be the ex-bowling intercollegiate team champions. We're walking back inside Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln. This is the ex-bowling intercollegiate team championships with Chris Barnes. I'm Dave Lamont. We're graciously thankful. It's a little that you could join us here. Well, as always, we get to the end of the season. We had the coaches awards, MVPs, Sabrina Davis from Midland, Rookie of the Year, Mark Lewis, the Coach of the Year from Wichita State, and Tanya Rumenpure, the Most Valuable Player.
Nailed it.
Oops.
And fumble a little high there and got away with a makeable spare, 6-10.
A rare mistake for her in a game that she was down 20. Chance to pull her team back up. My hats off to Coach Lewis this year. 2 first-team All-Americans, a second-team All-American, and honorable mention All-American, and managed to be Coach of the Year with that lineup.
Oh, and chopped off on the spare. Surprising mistake from Falbo, who's an outstanding player. And Pikeville's lead jumps to 33. And they go right back to Caitlin Simpson. And again, if you're just tuning in, those numbers pinned to the players' shirts represent the frame numbers they bowl. So Caitlin Simpson, who subbed in after the first game, led off, bowled in frame 1. Now she'll bowl in frame 6. That substitution worked out really well for Pikeville. You can't throw it any better than that.
2 just stone-high flush strikes.
Back to the top of the order, Christy Lopez, who's a Shannon O'Keefe fan. It's her favorite professional bowler. And leaves a 2-4-5.
For sure, that lane looks tighter for her. Definitely looks slicker.
Well, it may be worth noting that Maryland Eastern Shore won the first point on the left lane. Pikeville has the lead on the left lane.
It could have a lot to do with Maryland Eastern Shore started practice on the right lane, and they started playing a little bit deeper, which would have pushed more oil down lane to the right, as opposed to Pikeville, who played further right and made them hook a little bit further right on the lane and should have given them a little more room.
And should Pikeville win and force a third game, Maryland Eastern Shore gets the left lane. Wide left, however. So Valiente, who had bowled well, that one get away just a little bit. That's the one thing you can't let up, though. Even though you've got a pretty decent-sized lead, it can go in a hurry.
Absolutely. You keep leaving 4-pin spares to make, and percentages go down considerably.
Go back to the qualifying match, the last match between Maryland Eastern Shore and Wichita State. Wichita State needed a win to stay alive, needed a game to win to stay alive, left an open late, and allowed Maryland Eastern Shore to knock them out. So leads can disappear quickly. Or you can just smother it and take care of business. Beautifully done.
Maybe that was on a strike. No hurt, no harm done with count. Keeping their 33-pin lead.
So the junior, Boucha. Well, the dreaded ringing 10.
Yikes, this is a pretty good shot. Was light last time, left the washout, made a move off of it. Looked like she didn't really move her feet right so much as she just moved her eyes left.
This Maryland Eastern Shore team is not only experienced and talented, they're winners. 13 tournaments they bowled in. They won 10 of those 13.
Pretty amazing record. A couple of these seniors have a chance to win 4 national titles in 4 years. Which,
yes, that's
the win between NCAA and this larger ITC field.
34 pin advantage. We're getting late in game 2. If Pikeville wins, we'll have a third game, and the winner of that is the national champion. Got a favorable kick there, and that's just a single pin left. And again, she's very expressive with her face. You can tell when she likes and when she doesn't like a shot.
And with Maryland Eastern Shore's max score being 195, filling frames is all they really need to do here. It seems pretty unlikely that Maryland Eastern Shore could come up with the last 5 in a row with the ball reactions had so far.
Mariana Alvarado from León, Mexico. No, Brooklyn.
And they're still alive.
You know, as it goes up the X on the screen there, it doesn't say where it went. It just says an X.
As you watch the 2-pin go to the wall and just tip the 6 after hitting the 10-pin.
League bowler's favorite strike. Now Brie Larson.
Bowler hates to see that one sitting at the foul line.
Oh no! If it happens
one
against you, no, you're throwing your rosin bag and cursing your day. And just as we said, you can't let it get away. And
now we've lost count. And this one's inside a target. That's 16-17 right there, right through the middle. Fix down the 9-pin, but now count is in play. Needs to get 2 here. That's about all you can do.
did the right thing there. So now it goes to Angie Ramirez, and certainly one of the finest college bowlers in the nation.
Talk about how much things have changed. The max score for Pikeville is now 192, where Maryland Eastern Shore's max score is 195. Huge shot here.
Did not do it. Kicked out the bucket anyway, but still has the 3-6.
Angie liked the shot off her hand. You could tell, but it got out just a little bit further than the shot before that. Headpin goes around everything. Comes back to knock the 5 out, leaving just the 3-6.
So Pikeville now just needs a mark in 4. So funny how it can change one shot, can change an entire game sometimes. So it'll be up, as it almost always is in these Baker matches. That number 50, 5th frame, 10th frame, Brandy Hensler, the senior. An All-American, NAIA first team All-American, and that's what she has to do to force a 3rd game to decide the national championship. Oof. Scary moment. I'm sure every Pikeville fan and player held their breath on that shot.
This one was really close to leaving another split.
She still has to make this. And then pick up a 4 count to lock out the Hawks.
She doesn't. Brandy normally a very good spare shooter, but when it comes down to a national championship, 60-foot lane sometimes looks like it's about 80 feet.
Well,
opportunities abound now for Maryland Eastern Shore. A chance to throw a double and 7 to win a national title.
Comes down to Tania Falbo. Had a chance, Tania did, to get her team into the NCAA championship match and got rung up with a 10-pin. So she understands how to bowl in these situations.
I like the body language here. You can tell Angie's trying to keep her loose, smiling at her. Feeling she's got her back. Last time she went high on this lane, has to make an adjustment.
One more to keep it going.
Fantastic shot. Can't get too excited here. Makes the adjustment. Move your feet just a little bit, cross 17, 18. It's close. Slap the 10 pin out. Gathers herself almost immediately.
See the Pikeville
She's got
team.
more work to do.
Notice they weren't even looking. They could tell. I mean, the crowd's going to go crazy. Tania's bowling idol is Carolyn Doran Ballard, who certainly understands these situations and has come through quite a few times. Now, how about the time that's being taken here? Are you a fan of that or not?
Not once you're on the approach, I'm not. Here I don't mind it. Obviously, in a shot clock situation, you're not allowed to take that much time. But get herself under control. Now that she's on the approach, get up, make the shot.
A strike to keep the game alive. Something hit her. Something caused her to walk away. If she does not strike, Pikeville will win the game and force a third game. If she does, then 7 more pins and UMES steals the game and takes the Helmer Cup. Go, got it. 7 pins to win it for UMES. It's not over though.
What a fantastic shot. She gathered herself. She stopped one more time, got up, and made the shot. As a senior, you know this is your last opportunity. There's a lot of things that can go through your mind. You have to clear it out and just focus on the task at hand.
And, you know, we know what the I can't even imagine the Pikeville huddle right now as they aren't watching what's going through their minds. They had that, to borrow the expression, they had the match on their racket and let it get away potentially. 7 pins for a national championship. They've done it for the second time in the last 3 years. The Lady Hawks of University of Maryland Eastern Shore have won the national title. That cup is going back to UMES.
Jack on CBS Sports Network is brought to you by X Bowling. Join the revolution. By Columbia 300. Columbia bowls the world over. And by North Point Insurance.
And here they are, the champions for the second time in the last 3 years, the Lady Hawks of University of Maryland Eastern Shore. And joining us, head coach Christina Fromm. How much easier is it to bowl than to watch, though?
It's a lot less stressful to know you have the ball in your hand and have control.
Scott Stone from X Bowling with the Helmer Cup. Going back to Maryland Eastern Shore and shared among this great team. A dramatic victory for Maryland Eastern Shore, champions once again. In 2011, they won it in Columbus, Georgia. In 2013, they're the champions in Lincoln, Nebraska. The Lady Hawks of the University of Maryland Eastern Shore win the X Bowling Intercollegiate Team Championships 2 points to none in a dramatic second game over a wonderful team from University of Pikeville.